So let's talk about something that I think affects just about every iPhone user. It's robocalls. There have been a lot of reports that robocalls have been getting worse, and my personal experience has been that this is true. They are getting worse. Robocalls are a specific type of spam phone call that you get that's done automatically through a machine, a computer. There's no person on the other end, or maybe there's not a person until you actually engage with the robocall. So there could be a computer out there that just makes hundreds or thousands or millions of these things very easily. And I hear lots of advice from people about how to prevent robocalls or stop robocalls or deal with them. And a lot of it is just wrong advice that won't help and may actually make things worse. So I thought I'd do some research and figure out what the best way to deal with it is. So what doesn't work? So first thing is blocking numbers. So here's the thing. That caller ID that you get, that's faked. That could be faked just as easily as a return address on an envelope that somebody mails to you, right? They can put anything they want there. They shouldn't be able to fake it, and phone companies are reportedly working on a system for years in the future that will prevent this, but right now they can put any number they want. And the current technique is to actually use your area code and even your prefix, the next 3 digits after the area code, to make it look like it's a local number, or maybe even a number that somehow triggers a memory that, oh, I think this is somebody I know. So that number is faked. So blocking it isn't going to do anything because it's going to be different every time. You're going to end up with a huge list of blocked phone numbers, and the phone calls never actually even came from those numbers. And the worst case scenario, you may actually end up blocking somebody you know, or maybe in the future you might know. So it's just a waste of time to try to do this. It's not going to actually stop the robocalls. So blocking doesn't work in this case. Reporting is also something that's not going to work. This is not a real caller ID number, so reporting this as getting a call from somebody here isn't going to help. And what's worse is that the phone number could very well be from a real person. In the last week myself, I actually got a text from somebody saying, hey, stop trying to call me. And of course I haven't tried to call anybody, let alone this person, and I had to go and send him a polite message back saying, I haven't called anybody. This is, probably a spoofed faked caller ID number, and I'm getting them too. So getting mad at the person with that actual number is probably not going to help. And reporting it, whether it's to the phone company or some other service, or some online site that where you can list numbers that are doing spam calls, that's not going to help either, and may actually hurt somebody whose number is being randomly used for this. Here's another thing that doesn't work. The Do Not Call Registry, right? There are various Do Not Call registries for different countries and of course in the United States. Putting your number on that will cut down on the number of legitimate calls you get, legitimate marketing calls from companies. But all of these robocalls, they're breaking the law anyway by spoofing the caller ID, their anti-robocall laws, and all of this. They're not obeying the law at that point. They're not going to go and look on the registry and not call you for that. So that's just a waste of time too. If you want to put your number on that anyway just to stop some legitimate marketing calls, then sure, go ahead. But it's not going to help this. So let's talk about what does work. The first thing you should do is just, if you don't recognize the number, don't answer. First of all, it's a waste of your time to answer if you don't know who the person is on the other side. You probably realize by now it's almost certainly a robocall. You can let it go to voicemail if it is somebody trying to legitimately get in touch with you. Maybe you didn't recognize the number. Then they can leave a voicemail. But answering actually may make things worse, as then they could put a check mark next to it in the program there saying, hey, somebody answers this number. Send them more calls. Here's another thing people don't do. Hang up. If you answer and you hear it's a robocall or whatever on the other end, just immediately hang up. You don't need to wait around. You don't need to listen for an option or say something polite or anything like that. Just hang up. These people are taking up your time and you shouldn't waste a second. Just hang up immediately. Here's something I've seen people do, and I've tried it in the past too, is you can set custom ringtones for contacts on your iPhone. So you can go into contacts, you can add some data to that contact. Edit the contact and add a field, and one of those fields you can add is a custom ringtone. Now if you have, say, 10 people that call you, then you can set a custom ringtone for each of those people. You can set the same one or different ones for each one of them. And then you can go in and set a ringtone that's in settings sounds as your general ringtone. That's a very quiet or quick little ringtone. And if you hear that ringtone that's somebody that's not one of those 10 people that usually call you, and you can probably just ignore it, not even take the phone out of your pocket. So if you do see on your phone that it's a number you don't recognize and you want to ignore it, you don't have to listen to the ringtone. You can press the sleep wake button on your phone and the person or robot on the other side will continue to hear the rings until the normal amount of rings goes through and then it goes to voicemail. If you want to actually send directly to voicemail, by the way, you can press the sleep wake button twice and it does that. But I kind of fear that that's almost sending a signal in some way that there is somebody actually at the other end. So you can use once for a suspected robocall and twice for somebody you actually know but you can't pick up the phone at that moment. Now another thing that does work is provider services. So these phone calls are coming in from AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, or whatever provider you have. And that's the service that's providing your phone connectivity, not Apple, not your iPhone's hardware. So it really is up to these companies to actually block these. And they do actually provide some services. If you go onto the websites and search around, you usually find some settings or something for these. I'm on AT&T, and AT&T actually has an app called AT&T Call Protect. And this claims to do a better job at identifying phone calls, blocking robocallers, things like that. So I'm giving this a try now. I'm not sure how well it works. Other services have the same thing. Some of these services charge extra for it. I think Verizon and Sprint currently charge a few dollars a month extra for these services. So some of them are apps and some of them are things you need to set up like in your account on the website for that service. So give that a try. Look through the help information, and if you can't find anything, talk to your provider and see what they have. Maybe they'll even be able to tell you what they may have coming in the future. Here's what the AT&T Call Protect app kind of looks like. So I'm hoping that I get a little bit better information when a call comes in. Now another thing you may want to try to look at are third-party apps. Now until pretty recently, third-party apps couldn't do anything because they didn't have the ability to intercept phone calls. That was kind of a security issue. But now apparently there can be some things that they can do. One app I hear a lot of good things about is Hiya, H-I-Y-A, and there are a bunch of other ones in the App Store. I haven't tried any of these. I'd love to hear in the comments if you have tried them and how successful they have been for you.